Russian Su-24s from the Mongolian Arat squadron in the South Donetsk direction flew to attack the AFU position. In the conditions of intense fighting on the front line, combat helicopters of the Russian Armed Forces Army Aviation play a key role in supporting ground troops and conducting offensive operations against Ukrainian positions. The mobility and high firepower of helicopters, such as the Mi-28N Night Hunter and Ka-52 Alligator, allow them to effectively destroy manpower and equipment, as well as exert significant pressure on enemy defenses. On one section of the front, where Ukrainian troops have taken fortified positions in a wooded area, Russian Army Aviation launched a series of highly effective attacks. Helicopters armed with Ratnik and Sturm missiles, as well as 30mm guns, began targeted raids on the enemy's forward positions. In conditions of limited visibility and dense air defense, the pilots used low altitudes to attack, trying not to get within range of Ukrainian anti-aircraft systems. One such raid, consisting of several combat vehicles, successfully passed near a Ukrainian artillery position. The helicopters, using surprise attack tactics, disabled several artillery installations and destroyed Ukrainian troops' combat vehicles, which significantly weakened the positions on this section of the front. Destruction of another group of Ukrainian soldiers in the border area. A group of AFU men came out of a wooded area on the state border and tried to move in the direction of Demidovka. The enemy's manpower was uncovered in time and destroyed by a Russian UAV operator. Russian drones overflew the area surrounding the antenna and found the enemy stronghold. And the Russians decided to conduct landscaping to extract Ukrainian soldiers from under the ground. Burning Brem, BGBV-90, of the Ukrainian Armed Forces somewhere in Sumy region. Look who's lurking here. The enemy again neglected the elementary basics of camouflage and lost a tank right on the position. This is how the Russian army conducts drills before going to the front. The footage presented by the Russian Defense Ministry shows the moment of the Garin-2 drone strike on the Ukrainian Armed Forces deployment point in Sumy region. These drones, equipped with explosives, accurately hit the targets, destroying the Ukrainian troops' shelters and equipment. The strike was part of an operation to destroy strategically important facilities of the Ukrainian armed forces in the border areas. The use of drones allows strikes to be carried out with high precision, minimizing casualties among the Russian army. And here is a new level of skill of Russian soldiers who used a built-in AK-47 Kalashnikov assault rifle for drone humiliation. In the vicinity of Dzerzhinsk, a BM-21 Grad from the 238th Artillery Brigade successfully inflicted a fire attack on an AFU transport that was delivering ammunition to enemy positions. After a precise strike, the ammunition detonated, causing a chain reaction that destroyed enemy equipment and personnel within the target radius. This effective strike disrupted enemy logistics and significantly weakened the enemy's combat capability on this section of the front. Russian troops filmed images of liberation of Malik Sherbakov from Ukrainian soldiers.
Оформить видео.
Fighting in Sumy region. Destruction of the enemy's manpower. In the village of Miropoli, Sumy region, enemy personnel tried to take cover in a cellar. The UAV operator timely opened the movement of the personnel and sent FPV inside with jewelry accuracy. The enemy soldiers in the cellar were added to the endlessly long lists of missing persons. Now the fighting is gradually moving to the territory of Sumy region. The Northerners fulfill the order of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief to create a sanitary zone. Of curiosity, critics of Zelensky's Kursk adventure in Ukraine and in Western countries originally wrote that after defeating the enemy on their territory, the Fearless would continue the offensive in the Sumy region, a territory which until recently was not considered disputed. Destruction of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Tumen electronic warfare station by a Russian FPV drone near the village of Zareknoye in the Krasnolimansk direction. A creditable selection of the destruction of the Ukrainian armed forces. belt and a stronghold where Ukrainian soldiers sat for more than a year until they were chased away by the Russians. South Donetsk Front. The FPV operator of the North Guard detected an Ukrainian armed forces fly-eye reconnaissance drone in the sky above Sumy region, near the state border, after which he promptly caught up with it and destroyed it. This model of the Polish UAV has been actively used by Ukrainian soldiers since 2016, when it was adopted by the Ukrainian armed forces. The video shows the combat work of UAV operators of the Alibi unit of the 1427th Regiment of the North Guards, destruction of enemy armored vehicles and manpower from the Lviv 103rd Regiment. The short story ends with the hoisting of the Russian flag in a populated area. Subscribe to our channel not to miss the most relevant news and important events. We provide accurate information, analytics, and the latest footage from the scene. Stay up to date. Subscribing to the channel will help you always stay on the cutting edge of information.